In this 100 Days movie, I will be surviving on the Minecraft Elemental Islands. I also want to say thank you all for an amazing year on YouTube. Let's have an even better 2022. Now, just enjoy. In this video, I'm going to be trying to survive 100 days of Minecraft on a volcanic island. But this isn't just a normal volcanic island, because this island has mutated the creatures living here. And these creatures are insanely powerful, so it is going to be extremely hard to survive. So, I'm gonna need some good armor, because without it, I won't be able to survive for too long. My second goal is to build a compound to be able to survive this island. And my third goal is to find and kill the fire dragon before it makes the volcano wipe out all of existence. Can I do it? Watch the whole video to find out. I also want to say thank you so much for 60k. We are nearing 100k with every video, so make sure to be subscribed before then. And lastly, enjoy this video. It is day 1, I spawned on the island, I looked around for a little bit before I started to get my wood tools. I chopped down this tree right here, and once I had those wood tools, I was able to get stone tools right after that. I found these sheep on the hillside, and I knew that food would be a rarity on this island, so I killed them, and I knew that they would last me for a little while. I decided to keep running up the hill when I found this cave, and right inside the cave was some coal, and I knew I'd need that for cooking the food, so I grabbed it. Farther down into the cave, I found some iron, and there was a lot in this vein right here. While mining the iron, I heard thunder, and I knew the island was upset. The thunder just kept getting louder and louder, and I was wondering what was going on up there. Even while I was smelting my iron, the thunder was still roaring above me. That's when I knew that this island would not be easy to survive on. But luckily, I had gotten a bit of iron, so now I had some armor and some tools. And after spending the whole rest of the night getting iron, I had a full set of iron armor and some tools. So I figured that I would leave the cave and see what was happening up on the surface. And up there, it was raining, which doesn't really happen much on a volcanic island. And I saw some mobs, and I did not want to run into those, because I knew that they would be able to kill me already, and I didn't want to lose this challenge yet. While moving around the island, I found this guy, and I knew that I would have to kill these zombies before I could get to him. These zombies got in my way, and I finished them all off, and then the big monster found me. It started chasing right at me, and I didn't know how powerful it was. Its reach was insane, and I knew I had to run or else I would have died right there. I continued running until I got up into this tree, and the monster was still chasing me. It even got right up to the tree trunk to kill me. And while I was hitting it, it came up and knocked me off. I had to run from this thing because it was super fast or else it would catch up to me. I eventually got away and I saw some awesome lightning in the sky, but I had to ignore that because there were tons of monsters in front of me. This mutated zombie came up and was trying to attack me. I hit it with a ton of axe crits and it still wouldn't die, and it did a ton of damage, not to mention I had hunger now. I decided to go back into the safe location that I already knew, which was to bridge up into a tree and wait for daytime. Once I was pretty sure it was daytime, I looked around, and I hopped off the tree to go exploring more. I got some wood because I knew I would need it. Once I had gathered enough wood, I started to climb the volcano when I found this guy. He looked super strong, and when I hit him, he took like 0 knockback. I was killing him, and then I saw he dropped iron, which was awesome. So with that iron, I made myself a shield to defend against all the other monsters. Closer to the top of the volcano, I found this giant lake, and there were some mobs inside of it. And there wasn't just mobs, because there were some underwater caves. I knew that I would explore those later, but first I had to get some food, so I killed some fish, and then ran down the mountain right after that. After to the evening, I found some more food, which I was happy to take. While going around the island that night, I found a strip of beach guarded by some mutant zombies. I didn't know if I was powerful enough to take on 2 of them, so I ran and thought of a strategy. My strategy was to lure one of them over at a time and kill that one and then go get the other one. I successfully got this guy over and used my shield to block his attacks. A couple hits later and the zombie was finished. Now I just had to kill the other one and light up the island. I realized that I already had 3 wool, so I crafted myself a bed that I could sleep, and now I didn't have to go through the nights. I thought that would help, but I woke up to tons more creatures over there, so I made some axes because mine were getting low, and decided to take them on. I forgot how insane this monster's reach is, so I started to rapidly hit it to try and get into the lava, and when that didn't work, I towered up to make sure it couldn't hit me. After confirming that it couldn't hit me from here, I jumped down to kill it once and for all. Once I had successfully done that, I went out looking for some food because I knew I would need a lot of it. By this point, I had gotten a good amount of food, so I got some cobblestone so I could help build a nice starter house so that I could survive the nights. And the mobs, of course. After barely surviving another night on the island, I thought I earned a good sleep, so I went to bed. The first thing I did when I woke up was cook some of the food I had gathered so that I could actually regen. And then I went out mining for some more resources because I knew I would need a lot more to survive this island. To make my compound, I would need a lot of stone, so I went up to the top of the volcano and started to gather some. By the time I had finished, it was nighttime, so I made my way back over to my base and went to sleep. On the morning of day 6, I cooked up some of my iron and made myself a bucket and went to go get some water for it. Now that I have a water bucket, I could survive if I fell in lava or if I was caught on fire. I saw some grass, so I picked up some seeds and started a farm back at my base. And after I finished that, I tried to go to sleep, and then my screen started to swirl around me, and I heard this noise. I don't know what the island was doing this time, but it was something weird, and it kept getting even worse and worse. Eventually, when I was able to go to sleep, I woke up and it was gone, and that was super weird. When that was all over, I tended to my crops a little bit, and then I made myself an orange bed because I had acquired some orange dye. I then went over to the water caves, explored for a little bit, and then left immediately because they were boring. I went up to the top of the volcano when I saw this guy. I knew I was going to be able to take him on this time because I'd learned their patterns a little bit more. And after not too long, I was able to finish him off. I placed a water bucket at the top of the mountain, collected it, and then went down the whole mountain, and it was kind of cool, but then I realized I created a whole tsunami of water. There was so much on this mountainside. Made my way down and then went to bed. The next day, I figured I would clean up some of the garbage that I had built around the island. I then tried to make another portal with just a water bucket and left immediately. Now I just had to flatten this area out, and I did this in the form of a montage, so enjoy. I finished out flattening this area and I went to bed. I of course started my day by tending to my crops a little more, and soon after that I went to get some dirt to expand my farm some more. I placed around the outside layer and added some seeds, so now I was getting 2 times the amount of crops. And with that stone, I made some stone brick walls so I could place them around the whole island area to make my compound a little bit more like a compound. And when I had finished that, it was starting to come together beautifully. I wanted to texture the sand beach floor, so I grabbed some gravel from a nearby area, and some coal because I was there, and then I came back home and went to sleep, and on day 12, I started my day off by placing some torches around the fence. Now it was time to use that gravel, so I took my shovel and made a little pathway in the sand, and then placed the gravel inside of it to add some texture to the floor. Because I had ample sand now, I put some in the furnace to make some glass. I then decided to go mining for some more coal because I was smelting a lot of things, and I was killing a lot of mobs. I left the caves almost dead, and then when I came up to the surface, I found 4 cows just sitting here. And I had my flint and steel out so I could burn them, cook them for their meat, and then I could have way more saturation. It was too late out to go home, so I found this cave to hide out in. Inside was some iron, and this is where I would wait out until morning. Once I thought it was safe, I came out in the morning time and there were still tons of mobs out. And I found myself in this situation where there were 3 baby zombies right after me. While looking for some more food, I found this donkey and I decided to spare it and kill this pig instead. And of course, I had to use the good old flint and steel tactic on this sheep. I noticed something really unusual, which was a ton of water flowing down the mountain. I climbed it up to check it out, and I'd made a boat because I was going to do something really fun. I went to the top and then started to go down the whole mountain on a boat. After that fun, I fought a little bit in the night, and then I woke up to day 16 to all of my furnaces have been smelting a lot of my items. I collected the iron and then figured I'd make myself some new tools because the other ones were broken. I then AFK'd for a while and waited for my items to finish smelting. When I finished AFKing, I collected all of the glass and the iron, and then I made myself a new shield so that I could fight some of the creatures better. I saw this mutant zombie, he was on my property, so I decided to remove him nice and peacefully. With the iron that I had, I made some iron bars to put around the fence line to make the compound actually look like one. And with that almost finished, I went to bed. And of course, I started my day off by harvesting my crops. I then thought it was a good time to go mining, so I found a cave right here and fought some zombies off. In this cave, I was able to acquire some lapis, a really good amount of iron, and I found this. This is weird. It had some terrifying noises coming from it, and it looked pretty dangerous. I got down to investigate and to kill the thing, and it hit me and it gave me a wither effect. And then it transformed into an even more overpowered version. I thought it was going to be able to swim up the water stream, but luckily it wasn't, and it was able to stay down there. It almost got up this time, but I hit it back with my axe. I continued sending the creature back with my axe because I did not want to see how much damage this thing would do at full power. And after many hits, I was able to finish it off, but sadly it didn't drop anything. And when going to finish these zombies off, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye, and it was diamonds. So I wanted to see how many I would get. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 diamonds out of 1 vein, not bad. I continued to collect a lot more resources such as iron, and then I left the caves. I took the iron that I got, put it into the furnaces, and then went to bed. The next morning I got out my iron and made some iron bars to finish up the fence. When it was all said and done, I could say that it looked really good. With the diamonds that I had gotten, I made myself a diamond pickaxe, and then went to go get some obsidian. I tried mining it this way, but it wasn't very efficient, so I tried switching it up for the rest of it. I then made myself another flint and steel, and started to build the nether portal. I lit it up, and then went inside. And I got an awful nether spawn. I mean, this is one of the worst you can ever get. It was just nothing. So I went back home and watched the sunset. The next day, I decided to retexture the sand floor with some more gravel. I then got started on the main house, and I started with these pillars, but they didn't look very good, so let's go into a time lapse. And just like that, the house is done. I don't have anything inside, but I did move my bed in to go to sleep. I started off this day by actually making some doors, and I figured an iron door would fit the theme of the build. I took some torches and put them around the house so no mobs would spawn in it, and I wouldn't die when I'm sleeping. I then moved all of my appliances into the house, and now I had everything inside the house and looking good. Now that I had my nice house, I figured I'd go out and kill some mobs, like these guys. There were a lot of these mutant zombies, but with my new sword, they stood no chance. I killed those mobs during the night, and then day 25 I went to find some sugarcane. I found some next to this pond over here, and then brought them back to my house to replant them. When I was running inside, I noticed this guy in my window, and I don't know how he spawned in here because I had torches, but never the matter, I still killed him. With some of the sugarcane I got, I made myself a book, and with the 2 diamonds that I already had in this chest, I can now make myself an enchanting table. I crafted it, then walked it upstairs and looked for a good place to put it. I decided to put it in this corner right here. And because I already had some lapis, I just made some new iron armor, just a couple of them because I didn't have too much iron, and then enchanted them with basic enchants. And by the end of the day, I had full enchanted iron armor and tools, so I went back into the nether to see if I could find something interesting. I started to mine down, and after some mining, I found some open land that I could explore. While exploring, this guy came running at me, and I could tell it was a new mob, so I figured it would be powerful, so I killed it for my pillar. I don't know why, but I felt the urge to kill this zombie pigman. I killed it, but, you know, hitting a zombie pigman has repercussions. I tried to block this area off with some dirt, but they just kept spilling through. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to kill them all with just iron armor. The zombie pigmen somehow made their way up to me and started hitting me, and they did a lot of damage. At this point, I was on 3 hearts, and there were some more down here, so I had to hit one off there, and I was on half a heart with that block clutch. Not to mention the fire right there. I only had a couple more blocks left, so if they were chasing after me, I could not heal up. I got over here and blocked off so nobody could spawn near me, and then ate my rotten flesh to heal up. That was close. After that close call, I went back home and tended to my crops to relax. Once I was done relaxing, I figured I'd go out and get some more iron. I found a ton right here, so this would set me for a little while. And right after getting that iron, I came down this waterfall and found some more diamonds. But first, I had to deal with this skeleton though. It was now time to see how many diamonds I got. I ended up getting 9 diamonds out of this one vein right here. And not even 2 seconds later, I was getting this redstone and I noticed diamonds over here too. And this one had a lot. I mean a lot. And there was iron and coal right next to it. I accomplished a lot during that mining trip, so I figured I'd leave and go back home. Once I had gotten home, I had tons of diamonds to work with, so I could make some new stuff, like a new axe. I'd also be able to make some new armor, such as a chestplate, leggings, and a helmet. I enchanted all these with like protection 1 and stuff, some basic enchants, and on my axe I was able to get efficiency 1. And I didn't want to die, so I went to bed. Day 33, I put my iron in my furnaces, did some farming, and gathered some cobblestone from this minery over here. I needed to start breeding some sheep if I wanted to get netherite because I did not want to mine it the regular way, and I wanted to use beds, so I made this area over here that I could breed the sheep. I also tricked out my farm a little bit more with some stairs and then went to bed. Now on day 34, I had to go out looking for some sheep, and luckily I found some right here, and a pig. I lured all 3 of the sheep back, and then put them into my pen, and now I could breed the sheep. I also know that if I wanted to shear them, that they would need grass to eat, so I got started on making a nice renewable grass resource. Later in the night, I wanted to get my levels up, so I went out killing some mobs, but this island isn't short of them, because I got berated with all sorts of mobs, almost killing me. I made it home, and on day 35, I made myself an anvil and placed it upstairs. I was also curious about what lied beyond the lava, so I took my water bucket out and searched for something. And this took a long time. I mean, I went out for a long time, but I didn't find anything. I mentioned the walk back was not desirable because I was low on hunger. But I did make it back home and went to sleep. Then breeded up my sheep, and I figured I'd give the nether a little peek. I honestly hope those were some decent rhymes. Back to the topic at hand, I fought another one of those zombie pigmen, and it lit me on fire. But I also saw this glowstone, so there was an upside. I didn't really have a reason for being there, so I just brought the glowstone home, crafted them into blocks, and then went out on the lava to see what I could find. After another 5 days of traveling, I found something. I found a ridge between the water and the lava, and there was a sea serpent coming right at me. I figured that this was the fire dragons doing secluding me on the island, but I was too smart and used my water bucket to get back. I barely made it back home with 1 heart, so I had to be super careful while roasting these sheep so I could get some food back. I was able to regen and not die, so that was good, and then I went out to get some wood. And after a pretty excruciatingly long mining session, I came back home and made all of my wood into oak planks. I realized my little farm really wasn't doing it, so I went to an area with a lot of grass to make an even bigger farm. Once I had finished up the farm, I came around with some torches to make sure that no mobs would stomp all over my crops, and then I went to bed. I then replanted some of my sugarcane so I could expand the farm and get more paper. And after gathering wool the whole day, I was able to make 12 beds. These beds would help me mine some ancient debris. I was walking along the volcano when I found some cows and pigs right here. I was super happy because I was low on hunger, so I took my flint and steel to cook the meat. Sadly, that meat had gotten burned, but I didn't make the same mistake for the rest of the animals. I came back home and knocked out a lot of farming. I spent 3 days waiting for these crops to grow, and then I harvested all of them at once, and it was pretty satisfying. And by this point, I had gotten a lot of sheep, and a lot of beds. So with that done, I went to sleep. And on day 57, I figured I'd take some of these beds into the nether to see if I could get some ancient debris. I mined down to that Y level that I needed to be at, and placed my first bed. Of many. And right here I found a massive vein of ancient debris. With all of those beds used up, I was able to acquire 14 ancient debris. Now I just needed some gold from the nether to actually turn them into netherite. I spent a long time running around the nether looking for some gold, and I got a lot of it. I turned all of the gold that I had acquired into actual gold ingots, and then I smelted up some of my ancient debris. I was able to craft 3 netherite ingots, and I had 3 pieces of diamond armor, so that worked out perfectly. So after a good sleep, I woke up and made myself a smithing table. I placed it upstairs and then began to make my diamond armor into netherite armor. And I was actually looking pretty good. I wanted to test out my new armor, so I found this zombie over here, and killing him was actually a breeze. I then got some more beds and went back into the nether to get some more ancient debris. And after a lot more beds this time, I had gotten 22 ancient debris on this trip. So I made my way back home and put all of the ancient debris into the furnaces. I also saw that my sheep did not have enough space, so I made some stone brick walls and found a bigger area to put them in. Not to mention, with all the grass here, they'd be able to get their wool back really quickly after I shear them. So I took some of my wheat and lured all of them into the new pen. And I didn't realize how many of these guys there were, but there was a lot, so I'm glad I got them a new space. After that productive day, I went to sleep, and then on day 66, I came back with my shears and got a lot of wool. And my sugarcane was fully grown by now, so I harvested that up too. With just some of the wool that I had gotten today, I was able to make 41 plus beds, which was insane. I was able to craft 2 more netherite ingots, which I had 4 now, and I just needed some boots to have the full netherite set. But before I went diamond hunting, I figured I would need some good food, so I eliminated some of the sheep before I went to bed. I didn't really want to go diamond hunting, but I did want to go into the nether and explore some more, and I went on some risky cliff sides. But it was all worth it when I found some glowstone, and after I explored a little bit farther in, I found the nether fortress. I knew that if I wanted some blazerite ingots, I would need to kill these blazes to get a ton of blaze rods. Killing the blazes wasn't too hard, but I was also running on a hunger issue, but I had a ton of rotten flesh to keep me satisfied. After getting a good amount of blaze rods, I decided to go home because I was kinda sick of the nether. Speaking of sick, if you haven't noticed, I've been trying to do a good job of it. I am sick while doing this voiceover, so please don't roast me in the comments. Putting that aside, I was able to make 3 golderite ingots, and I didn't know really what I made until I had finished it. I made golderite ingots instead of blazerite ingots, and I had already put the golderite on my chest plate. So I figured that I would just do the whole set because I would rather have a full set of good armor than just have mix match everything. After getting golderite all over my armor, it looked very good, but I just needed some boots. But I was low on food, so I came back over to the sheep and killed them to get some more food. I also knew that I would need some leather, so I came back to the spot where some of the mobs spawned, and I found 2 cows up here and a sheep. I only wanted the cows, so I brought the cows over slowly and steadily, and without losing my sanity or the cows, I brought them into the sheep pen to keep them in here. Since I had 4 wheat, and they were right here, I bred them up and started to work on my cow population. I was just chillin' running into my house when a zombie spawned up there on the staircase. And there wasn't just one, I ran upstairs and found another one in my bedroom. I don't know how they're spawning in my house, because I have it lit up. I'm gonna blame it on the dragon. Since another one of my shields is broken, I made myself a new one, and then went out and got some wood. And of course, if you chop down a tree, you have to replant another 1 or 2 in its place. Since there are no more animals in the compound, I removed all this grass and filled it up with sand because I wanted to put a build here soon. That night, I went out adventuring for some more mobs, and I got them. I found a ton of mobs right here, I mean hundreds what it looked like. I used a creeper to blow up these over here, but there were still a lot of mobs after me. There were some baby zombies, and some mutant mobs. I eventually escaped with my life, and then went home and went to sleep. But after all of that fighting, I was low on food, so I burned some of my sheep to get some food back. I then went into a cave to look for some new resources. Down there, I found some gold, and after I found that gold, I had found some more iron. And after that iron, I found some diamonds, and when I dropped down, I took some fall damage. These diamonds were pretty nice. I was able to get 5 out of them. Correction, I was able to get 6. I forgot about that one down there. I got back to the compound, and there was this zombie over here, and I decided to fight him. He was actually not dying, and I think the mobs were getting stronger throughout the days. I woke up on day 75, crafted myself some diamond boots, then I went into my chest to grab a netherite ingot and a blazerite ingot. I brought them up and made them into blazerite boots. I then took those blazerite boots and enchanted them with protection 1. Sadly, I didn't get another enchant on them, but I was looking really good with all of my armor on. I wanted to expand my house, so I had to break this area over to the left of it. After I finished up with that, I took some of the cobblestone that I had and smelted it into stone so I could change it into stone bricks. It was getting late, so I was gonna wait till tomorrow to start the build. I finished the build, and this is where I'm going to be putting my enchanting table set up. And I even added a balcony from my main house to this house. I added doors to the enchanting house, and then took a look at it, and it was looking pretty good. There was a sunset, so I was going to enjoy it. Day 77, and I started off by putting the enchanting table in the enchanting room. Right after that, I harvested some sugarcane, I decided to breed up the cows and the sheep because I knew I would need more leather in the future. And to end off the day, I harvested all of these crops right here to breed up the animals. It's day 78 and I'm pretty low on hearts right now, so I can't really get into many fights and there's a lot of mobs on my compound. This mutant creature started attacking me, and I just hopped behind the wall and then ran away. I got back into my house a little while after that to get some beds for some more mining. And because I've already done this a couple times, I'm just going to skip to the end and show you how many ancient debris I got. I came back on the night of day 83 with 13 ancient debris, and I was pretty low on hearts. I had some leather and I had some paper, so I crafted some books, and then I turned those into bookshelves so I could add it to my enchanting table setup. There was another mutant creature outside, so I decided to take it on. These things are still insanely powerful, and even with my full netherite armor, it still did a lot of hearts on me. Because I was pretty low on food, I decided to go over to the sheep and burn them to get some cooked mutton. I then took those bookshelves, put them behind the enchanting table, and then I made myself a grindstone so that I could disenchant some items. I put the grindstone upstairs right over the anvil because it looked really good there. And then I disenchanted my pickaxe, and then I went to go combine it because I wanted a netherite pickaxe. But I didn't just want a netherite pickaxe, I got a blazerite pickaxe, and this pickaxe allows me to break anything and cook it. Well, kinda smelt it, I'll show you here. I put this iron down on the ground, I broke it with my new pickaxe, and it smelted it automatically. This would be super useful for the nether, and just a lot of other things. I figured I'd go to the nether to try it out on some gold. I don't know what I was thinking because it breaks into nuggets. I thought it would give me ingots, but that didn't work. And then I found this biome and I made a cool little cinematic for it. Once that cinematic was done, I basically just left the nether because I didn't really need to be in there right now. But there was somewhere where I did need to be. I needed to be breeding my cows because I needed leather to get better enchants, because I needed to kill the dragon before he wiped out all of existence. So I spent a full day breeding up cows and I got a lot more of them. While I was going upstairs, I found another one of these creatures in my house, even though I have it perfectly lit up and it was daytime. I had no idea what was going on. I'm blaming the dragon once again. And because I was out of crops, I decided to wait in AFK for all these to grow. Once they were fully grown, I was able to breed a lot of cows, and then right after that, I was able to harvest some sugarcane. And then I went to bed. But wait, there's a monster nearby, and of course there's a skeleton right there. Then I checked on my roof and there's a creeper. This is not going to be good because if it blew up, I'd be very irritated. So I waited for it to get to the ledge and I hit it off. And it wasn't dead yet, and I jumped over. Then I placed a water bucket and I made this whole area obsidian, which was really annoying because it was super ugly. I tried to mine it up, but one piece of obsidian takes really long and I did not want to do it yet. So I went to bed. And then the next day I decided to try out my pickaxe on these cows and it worked. It actually cooked them whenever I hit them. Well, killed them. With the leather that I had gotten from that, I was able to make 7 more bookshelves to get better enchants. Once I was done breaking all the obsidian, I filled the whole area in with lava to make it look better. Then I went and killed some sheep because I needed some more food. And I got enough leather to finally finish off my enchanting table, so now I had level 30 enchants. If you want to get level 30 enchants, you actually need 30 levels, so I went to the nether to mine some nether quartz to get some easy XP. And then I came back with 30 levels the next day. But it was late, so I went to sleep, and on day 92, it was time to actually upgrade my stuff. I put my blazerite pickaxe in, and I got efficiency 4 and unbreaking 3, which is an insane enchant. Then I went back with that pickaxe to get some more levels, and then I came back to the overworld to actually get better enchants on my armor. I got protection 4 and aqua infinity on my helmet, protection 3 on the leggings, and protection 2 on the chestplate. I settled for protection 2, should be good enough. And then I also got looting 1 on my axe, which wasn't bad at all. I went to sleep, and on day 93, I went right back into the nether to get some more XP. I came out with 33 levels, which was going to be more than enough to get what I actually wanted on my chestplate, and I got protection 4 on it. As you can see, I was very happy about this. Now that I had everything ready, I could go look for the dragon out at sea. After one day of running, I made my way over to the sea, put my boat down, and then rowed over. There's a sea serpent right behind me, but I could outrun it on my boat. On the night of day 95, I found something. This looked pretty cool because there's a bunch of glowing ores on it, and there's a diamond, so I went down, got the diamond, and then came back up for air. I wanted to investigate it more because I've never seen anything like this, and it was at sea, so it wasn't on the volcanic island. I jumped down and there were some creatures down here, and a creeper that greeted me very nicely. Right out of the corner of my eye, I found it. I found the fire dragon. Now I just had to figure out how to kill it. First, I wanted to look in all of these chests to see if I could find some better loot to do that. I had to be really quiet not to wake it up yet. I found some manuscripts and I thought they might be important, so I took them out of this chest. And I found some more in another chest, so I took those too. I was trying to be wary next to this dragon because I wanted to get this chest, and then the dragon woke up. It was flying around and it was trying to attack me. It did a lot of damage with its fire attack, but luckily I had my water to save me. While I was looking around for anything to help me, the dragon shot some fire at everyone in here, and it was through the water, and I didn't know how he did it. Then he picked me up from the cave and dropped me into the water. I saw this ravine over here and I knew that it would be safe for cover. I used my pickaxe to mine into the ravine to make sure the dragon couldn't get me. And after some mining, I found an open area where I could just walk around and do other things. So this is nice. I was peacefully mining some coal and iron when something from above struck fire at me. And this was the dragon, and I was so far underground I did not know how it could hit me from there. I knew from right there and then that I had to get out of there ASAP, so I made my way home. I was able to escape the dragon from a labyrinth of caves, but that was about it. I knew in my state right now I wouldn't be able to defeat the dragon and save the whole world, but something was calling me to the top of the volcano, so I went. I made it to the top and I was looking for the epicenter of the volcano. Something was telling me that there was something that I needed up here, but it was already at build height, so I had to place my water right here. And after locating the center of the volcano, I looked down and right-clicked, and there was a set of dragon armor, but then this ghost came up and attacked me. Clearly something didn't want me finding this armor. I didn't know how good this ghost was or how dangerous it was, but I was able to kill it in a couple hits. I then came back to the chest area over here to see if I could grab the armor, and another ghost came out of nowhere. So I had to kill that one too before I grabbed the armor. I realized a pattern that every single time I opened the chest, a ghost would come out. So I grabbed the armor really quick and the sword, or whatever it was, and I killed the ghost right after that. Then I wanted to test out the armor, so I put it on and I was looking great. I was ready to kill the dragon. But this thing was super powerful, so I wanted some extra security. So I went home, grabbed some lapis, and enchanted all of the armor with the basic enchants. After I was done with that, I went upstairs and went to sleep because tomorrow I would have to kill the dragon. But first I wanted some more food so I could regen during the fight. So I killed the rest of my cows, and then I went back to the dragon. And I found it out of nowhere, and it looked mad that I found that armor. It picked me up to drop me, but I was already in water, so I took no fall damage. The dragon came back down to pick me up again, and I was hitting it while it was in midair. It lit me on fire, then dropped me, and I went back down with my stake to regen. Mid-fight, I went into third-person mode to hit it because I needed a better view. I swam to the lair so I'd be safe for a little bit, but I still had to deal with all these mobs. I swam up to the surface to finally kill this thing, because it kept swooping down and that's when I was able to hit it. This fight was going on day in and day out, and it was already the night of day 98, and I was still fighting the dragon. This dragon was tough, but whenever it came down to swoop and kill me, I hit it with my axe, and this axe did a ton of damage to dragons. This fight was going on for way too long. It was already day 99, and I had to finish up this dragon by day 100 ASAP. It was the night of day 99, and I was getting it pretty low, and I knew that for sure. But it kept picking me up, and I was able to hit it midair. Then after one hit, it fell down and died right behind me. I knew I had to be fast because I needed to grab something so that I could stop the volcano. I rummaged through the dragon to get the dragon eggs because I needed to place that at the top of the volcano so that it wouldn't destroy the world. And once I had swum down and grabbed it, I finally got it, and now I had to make it home quick. It was the night of day 100, and of course one of these guys pops up. Luckily, I had my new axe and it destroyed it in one hit. It was nearing morning time, and I had to get this thing up there quick, and there were still mutant creatures that were trying to delay me. When I got up there, I started to see the sunrise, and this wasn't good. I needed to place these eggs up there quick. And right when I did it, some lava particles popped up, and I'd done it. I stopped at only 30 seconds away from it being daytime, so that was way too close. And for safe measure, I took the fire dragon heart and tossed it into the lava. I had now saved the world, and now the volcano wouldn't erupt and kill everything. I hope you all did enjoy this video. I recorded this whole thing while I was sick, so it took a lot out of me, so it would mean a lot if you subscribed. And see you in the next video, guys. Peace. This isn't the Volcanic Island. How did I get here? I remember walking along the island on a beautiful day, just admiring the volcano. And then, the unexpected happened. It exploded and a fire dragon emerged from it. I saw it and tried to run away, but I couldn't escape. The dragon had got me. The rest is kind of fuzzy. I must have been knocked out because I can't really remember much, but I still remembered what had brought me here. So I knew I had to wake up. I figured I must have been in the dragon's lair. But when I tried to wake up, I was not on a sunny island or the dragon's lair, but on an Arctic island. On this Arctic island, I have 3 goals. My first goal is to craft a campsite so I can survive the winter. My second goal is to get a full set of Yeti armor. This will help with my third goal. And my third and hardest goal is to kill the frost mob before it turns the whole world into an ice age. This video gets crazy towards the end, so make sure to watch the whole video. Also, a giant thank you to you guys. We are at over 90,000 subscribers, so make sure to be a part of the Before 100K club. So subscribe, but most importantly, enjoy this video. It's day 1, so of course we need to start our day off by grabbing some wood, and then making our wood tools. Since wood tools are for peasants, I decided to go look for some stone, but on my way I found this thing. I immediately lunged at it and it hit me back. It did a good amount of damage too. When I was going over next to it, it exploded and it turned everything into like green blocks. It was kind of weird. I was running around and to the corner of my eye found some stone, and now I could finally go get some stone tools. Crafted up those stone tools, and then I found this pathway. I didn't know where it led to, but of course I had to run across it in style. I stopped following the pathway after a while because it led to nothing, and then I found these sheep. This would be awesome because I would have some food finally, and I can make a bed. I got close to this yellow sheep and I was just inspecting it. It looked weird, but anyways, it had to go. But because there were so many sheep, I was able to make myself a furnace, and now I had a lot of food. I was waiting for all my food to cook when I realized I can make a bed already. I crafted it, it was a white bed, but anyways, now I could go to sleep without having to deal with the monsters. Day 2, I decided to go adventuring. I found this really cool biome area, and that inspired me to grab some wood, and I also wanted to do some mining. I knew I'd be needing some ores and stuff, so I dug straight down and found my way into a cave. The first thing I did down here was craft myself a torch so I could see and so you guys could see better, and then I found some iron right here. I found a lot of iron in this cave, so I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly. And not too long after finding that, I found way more iron. While I'm down here, I'm gonna mine a lot of this, so let's turn it into a montage. I did mine a lot more iron after that, but that was just the montage part. I smelted the iron, and I had a good amount, so I made myself some iron leggings, and I got full iron armor by the end of day 3. I came out of the caves on a mountain, and it was nighttime, but it was really beautiful, so I looked at the sky before going to bed. I woke up, the sky was beautiful, and decided to explore. I found another cool biome, and after not long, I found these guys. I found 2 more ice creatures. I decided to make myself a shield before I went and fought them. Then, it was time to fight him. I charged in with my shield and my axe in my hand, and I got the first guy. I was critting him out with my axe and making sure he couldn't hit me. Then, he exploded. After the first guy was gone, now it was time to take out the second one. It was coming towards me, but of course I had my axe and my shield now, and all my iron armor, so it was really easy to defeat. I checked the explosion of the last one, and this guy left glass blocks, white stained glass blocks. That was pretty interesting. Now I needed to look for food, but first I ran into this guy. It was a skeleton, and I didn't know where I was being shot from. I was being shot from behind from another skeleton. I was on 2.5 hearts. I had to block from both angles now. I had to figure out a way to kill one skeleton and then kill the other one. The other one was burning because it didn't have a leather cap on, so that was a good thing. So I was gonna wait for that to burn and die before I took on the next one. This skeleton was next. I tried to hit it, but I couldn't sprint, so I couldn't quite reach it. I got it with 1 axe crit and then 1 more right after that, and I was able to finish it off. I was at 1.5 hearts, so I had to find food fast, and after a bit of running, I found 2 cows, which was awesome. I of course killed them both before going to sleep, because I couldn't fight any more mobs that day. I placed on my furnace and cooked all of the steak that I had gotten, well, raw beef, turned it into steak, and I was able to heal myself up fully. It's day 5, I really wanted a place to stay, so I found this area with some cool trees. I made myself a shovel and began to dig out some snow. I wanted to put a floor here, so I evened out the snow before making myself a campfire. For this tool that I needed to make, I had to get some red dye, and I found some flowers right here. I went flower collecting for the rest of the night, and I also tried to light this thing up with flint and steel for the rest of the night, but it wasn't working. I gave up and went to bed, and on day 6, I found out how to do it. You just hit a stick on it, and then it lights the campfire. But anyways, I went out flower picking again because I still needed some more red dye. While looking for flowers, I found this thing. It looked like an Arctic fox, but I couldn't really tell. I tried to catch up to it to see if it would drop any meat, but it just kept running through the snow and it was kind of hidden. I chased the thing for a long time before I just gave up. In the meantime, I smelted up some iron so I could use it for this new crafting recipe. The item that I was making is called a Swiss knife. This is going to allow me to do a lot of things like turn this log into a thing I could sit on. Now I had a log seat, and I could put it next to the campfire, and it looked pretty good. Finished up with that, went to bed, and then on day 7, I started to go out and look for some stuff. And the stuff I was looking for was snow. There's a lot of it, and I decided to make an igloo out of it because I guess it kind of fits the theme of the video. And it can't be a proper igloo without a perfect wooden floor. I then made myself a new campfire because I wanted to make a cool campsite area outside the igloo. I also made some more log seats, just for no reason, and because I wanted to surround the campfire. Once I had finished up with that, I put my bed down and made everything look good, and towards the night I heard a creature. I think I've heard this creature before, but I wasn't too sure, so I went outside the igloo to investigate. I was sneaking around and I wanted to get a good look at it, and it was the spider creature from the Volcanic Island. I had a hard time killing these things in full diamond armor, and I was in iron armor and I was almost dead. I made it closer to the igloo, I blocked up so the thing couldn't get me, but then it jumped super high. I guess the Arctic Island must have mutated these creatures. How am I supposed to kill this thing? It keeps jumping. I came up with the conclusion that I couldn't kill this thing. I had to get to a safer location, so I made my way over to my igloo and camped out the night there. The creature was gone in the morning, and I started a chase after a rabbit. I was really low on food, and I needed this food, and I cornered it, and I got the kill. I was running around the area where my house was, and I found this thing. It looked like a farm. I didn't know how it got here, but I was gonna use it regardless, so I cleared it out with my shovel, and not long after that, I found this right next to it. It appeared to be some kind of villager house, but I didn't really know what it was. Sadly, I went inside and there was nothing in it too, so I made my way back home and cooked some food. I got a piece of Venetian, I ate it, and it did a lot of hunger hearts. I mean, like a lot. This would be a great food source if I can get a lot of them, but they're really hard to catch. I went out exploring again, and on this frosted river there's a bunch of sugarcane. I decided to get that for later, and then I got the greatest idea of my life. I figured that this was ice, and I made myself a boat, and you know what's gonna happen next. At this point, it was basically nighttime, but over here I saw some animals. I saw 2 chickens, which would be awesome, and a pig right there. And food is a rarity on this island, so I had to grab everything that I could. I grabbed a seed because I wanted to bring these guys back to breed them, and I just found that farm area, so this would be a perfect time to do it. I also knew getting these guys home would not be easy, because this is why. I turn around to see how the chickens are doing, and a zombie drops out of nowhere. Now I have to deal with this thing before I can help the chickens. Wanted to see if this one would be mutated too, because the other spider monster was also mutated. This guy seemed a lot faster than he did on the Volcanic Island, and he did 4 hearts of damage, which was a lot more than he did back then too. With some struggle and a lot of time, I finally got the chickens back into this pen. I was very happy, and then I bred them, and then I could leave. I went on the hunt for more animals. This Arctic fox was calling my name. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but I got it in a corner and then killed it, and I got 2 raw Venetians. I went back home, got those cooked up, ate them. Now I was full health, and I could go chase some more of them. It is a task to kill these guys. I mean, it was really hard, so I ended up giving up because those guys were fast, and then I went and bred the chickens some more. In case any new mobs were coming around, I decided to make a mine for my igloo so I can go get some better armor and tools. Whilst in the process of mining down, I found this cave opening, and this would be great for finding more ores like coal and a bunch of iron. On the same day, I was just gathering some coal. I looked down on this big opening to run back, and I found diamonds beneath there. I was very happy, so I had to venture down there to go and grab the diamonds. I went down and there was 5 diamonds, so on day 11 I had 5 diamonds. For these 100 days, I didn't want to mine the whole time, so I decided to make it a big mining trip and get a lot of iron, coal, and some other resources. This island was littered with ores everywhere, so it was pretty easy to find ores. But with the good things comes the bad, and while I was mining this redstone, I got hit with a miner fatigue from a guardian. Now, I don't know how this happened, or where it happened, or why it happened. I had 0 idea, but now I had to stop my mining trip short. Can you guys think of a way that there would be a guardian in the mines? I couldn't. But aside from that mystery, I was staring at the sky when all the clouds started to surround me, and then snow started to fall. Luckily, I knew where I was, and I found my igloo after not much running. And then I found a gold mine. I found 3 cows and a bunny. I knew that I had to take this opportunity, so I made 3 boats because I didn't have any wheat right now, and I pushed all the cows into their boats. We got the first guy, we got the second one, and now we have the third one. Now that I had these cows, I didn't want any mobs killing them, so I placed some torches around so no mobs would spawn. Once I finished mob proofing, I went to bed. Now that I had these cows, I wanted to make a farm, but first I needed a new pickaxe, and then I went out and got some water. I still needed one more piece of the puzzle, which was an iron hoe. Of course, I wasn't going to make a wood one because I had excess iron, and iron hoes just look cooler. I only had a couple seeds, so I got a good amount of space cropped out, and then I started to plant the seeds. And because I'm not going to be breeding the cows in the boats, I made them a nice area where I can lure them in and breed them. And with that task finished, I went to bed, and on day 17, I started off by making some new chests because I needed some more storage. I spent a large portion of the day just filling up all my chests and organizing them. I realized that I still had some diamonds, and I hadn't made myself a diamond pickaxe yet, so I made that. I also wanted to get some wood for a future project, so I made myself a new iron axe and then started to chop down some trees. Once I'd finished with the first one, I started on an even bigger tree. After finishing up with all those trees, I went back to see if I can lure out the chickens to move them into my new pen. And of course, these chickens always come with their own complications, and I had to deal with that. Eventually, I got them into their pen, nice and safe with the cows. But I would also hardly call the cows safe because they're not safe for me. I was hungry, so I needed to get some raw beef. I cooked that up and then went to bed. At the start of day 18, I started going around the river and getting some sugarcane. I was basically just walking around the island trying to see if there were any secrets I could discover. Sadly, the only secret I could discover was me fighting this Enderman. It wasn't a secret, but that's all I found. It was late at night and I was running back to my house. I only had one piece of food left. I saw some light, so I knew it was over there, and then I heard this weird noise. I want you guys to let me know in the comments if that's from Minecraft or not. I was still pretty confused about it. Before going to bed, I heard some weird noises outside my door. I ignored it and then went to bed. I checked the noise the next morning and there was just a zombie out there burning. I still wanted to find any secrets on this island. I traveled all the way to the outskirts of it and I swam in the water for a second, but then left immediately because that's all I wanted to do. On the mountainside, there were some mobs right here, and I was kind of bored, so I decided to take them on. And there was one of these guys. They're super powerful and they could transform. This guy is super terrifying. If he hits you, he does a ton of damage. Right there, he did 3 hearts, and I had full iron armor on. I continued to defend his attacks, and then with another axe crit, I killed him. Then I killed the other spider monster, and then up here, I killed this guy. I collected their XP and then went about my night. The next day, while exploring, I found some chickens and a pig over here. I chose to play this smart. I would burn the animals before killing them, and then their food would be automatically cooked. I found my way back home and decided to do some mining. I went down into the mines, and after a couple of minutes, I got super bored and went right back up. And by that time, it was pretty much nighttime, so I went to bed. Mustered up my strength and actually went mining for the next couple of days. I wanted this to be a big mining trip, and I found diamonds on the first day. This was also a great opportunity to get other ores such as gold. But of course, gold has nothing on diamonds, but this was only a 1 vein, so it wasn't that good. I continued to find more and more diamonds and just a bunch of other ores such as lapis and iron. I hadn't found any mobs into the caves yet until I found this guy. And of course, he was pretty annoying, but then there was these black slime things without any textures that were also super annoying and had me super low. I was running and I found diamonds right there, so I guess it was a blessing in disguise. It was only 2 diamonds though, but I'm not going to complain, even though I basically just did. I found some more diamonds and I'm just going to speed it up because I did find a lot of them over the course of the 6 days. I emerged from the caves on day 30, went to bed, and I was pretty low on food, so I burned this cow, killed it, and then ate its meat. Wait. Don't quote me on that. With some of the diamonds I got, I made a diamond axe, but I also don't want to see a single timestamp on that portion of the video. Anyways, moving on, I wanted to get some more food, and I knew that there was a pig here, and of course, he was still here from a couple of days ago. I burned him and then ate him as a nice sacrifice because I was kind of hungry. While coming back, going home, I was on the boat and then I had to deal with these mobs right here. I tried to boat right past them, but then they bumped into me, and I kind of took that personally. I grabbed my boat and trapped 2 of these suckers in the boat so I wouldn't have to deal with them during the fight. There were still a couple of these frost guys that I had to deal with first because they kept trying to hit me. I dealt with the first one and would see if it exploded and destroyed the other mobs, but sadly it didn't. Now it's plan B, just kill them the old-fashioned way. My shield was getting really low, so I couldn't really rely on that too much anymore. And I had to deal with multiple mobs at the same time. The zombie did a lot more damage, so I used my shield on him. I still only had iron armor at this point, so there's a good chance I could have died here. With 1 more hit, I can die right now. My shield is really low. It's 1 more hit away from breaking. I had to block and I killed him at the perfect time. Now it was just these 2 in the boats. This was pretty easy because they couldn't hit me or anything, so I was able to kill them pretty quickly. I know boating upriver doesn't really work in Minecraft, or in real life I guess, but I did it anyways and it was pretty quick. I got back home and then went straight to bed. That I still had 13 diamonds and I gotta put them to use sometime, so I made myself a diamond shovel to start on my new house. For this house I had a different idea. In all my other 100 days I kinda went above ground. For this one I was thinking underground. I kinda regretted this further on because, you know, snow falls down and falls on top of it, so you can't really see or anything, but I digress. Let's get on to the build montage. I basically built the whole thing, but I still needed a roof, which I wanted to do glass because it would just look cooler. So I went back to the river where I could find some sand and dug a lot of it because I would need a lot of glass to fill up the roof for that house. I finished mining up a bunch of sand, I mean stacks of it. I put it in the furnace before I went to bed, and then I actually went to bed. Spent the next couple of days waiting for my glass to smelt and then placing it over the top of the house. I wanted to build one of these houses for a while, so I'm kinda happy I got to do it, and it was looking pretty good. And even though I'm in 1.12, the glass still looks pretty good from the bottom. I went back to my old igloo house and made a bunch of chests because I needed to furnish up the new place. You know how I said that I would regret making the flat roof? Well, this is why. When it snows, it covers up all the glass and it gets pretty annoying. I had some extra chests, so I placed them on the outsides, and then I went over to grab everything that I ever owned, take that all into my inventory, and then bring that back to the new place. I got basically everything over to the new place except for one more chest, and I decided to do one last sleep in the igloo. I then collected my bed and moved it all over to the new place. And there was a bunch of snow on there, so I was gonna have to deal with that later. I placed my bed in the corner, and then I heard this weird noise. I thought I heard the noise coming from the outside and to the right, so I went outside and there it was. There was a Yeti. It didn't seem to be attacking me yet, but I was gonna go in first. It picked me up and threw me, and it did a lot of fall damage, but after a couple hits it died. It dropped something and I didn't know what it was called. I guess it was Arctic fur. That was interesting. I didn't know if there were gonna be any more future attacks, and I still had a lot of diamonds, so I figured I'd make myself a nice diamond chest plate. Because there was snow the day before, I had to clear off the whole roof just to make it look pretty. I also wanted to make a pathway between the farm and the igloo house and my new house, so I went down into the mines and found this area with a bunch of gravel and decided to mine up a lot of this. And when I mean a lot of gravel. I got back from out of the mines, and now it was time to start working on the pathway. I wanted to make it something simple, maybe something 2x2 wide. I didn't want it to be too complex. This pathway just had to connect my new house to my old house and my farm. I had gotten it all finished up by the time it was nighttime, and right as I was about to go to sleep, I heard this. Was it more Yetis coming? I didn't really know, but anyways, I still had to sleep, so I just went to bed. Now it's day 39, and I went to go check on the farm, and I found 2 Yetis outside this time. None of them were attacking me, but it must have been the thing that happened last night. I don't know what's going on, but if this continues, I might not be able to live here anymore. But for right now, I just have to focus on killing these things. I thought I'd be able to use my flint and steel to light it on fire, but that just wasn't working. So I figured I'd retreat, go back to my animal pen, and then hide from there and see if I could kill it. Luckily, it wasn't able to get to me, but when I went closer to hit it, it picked me up and almost threw me, but I was able to kill it while I was in its hands. The job's not over yet. There's still one more left I have to get rid of. I thought I could slow this thing down by placing water, but I didn't want to destroy my landscape. The Yeti picked me up and threw me, and I axe critted it on the way down and hit it one more time, and now it was dead. After those battles, I was pretty low, so I lit this cow on fire, hit it, and then got a couple steak from it. At the rate we're going at, there's going to be more Yetis tomorrow, so I need to get an enchanting table, and the first thing I needed was obsidian. After a while, I found some in this cave right here, and now I just had to collect it. This does have to be one of the more boring parts of mining. I got a lot of obsidian, I got 19, and I emerged from the caves on that same day. Well, not day anymore, it was nighttime. I realized my house was really dark during the night, and I didn't want any creepers to spawn and blow me up as I was sleeping, so I lit it up with some torches. Once that was finished, I went straight to bed because I didn't want to hear a noise. Alright, I'm gonna go check. I hope there's no more Yetis out there. And as I peeked over, there was nothing. There's no more Yetis. I wondered what happened. Was it the noise? What was going on? I made sure to double check the surrounding areas, but there was nothing, so I just made another portal instead. The nether portal was looking nice, but there's also a big gap on the left side, so I just filled it in with some chests to make it look better. I had completely forgotten why I got obsidian in the first place, and that was to make an enchanting table. I finished crafting it and placed it right there, and it was perfect. Now it's time to go check out the nether. I forgot how disgusting 1.12.2 nether is. The only good part is this glowstone, so I decided to grab all of it. It took a long time, but I finished up grabbing all of that, and then I went back home. With the newly found glowstone, I placed it in the spots that I just didn't want torches, because torches are kinda ugly. I finished placing glowstone behind the chest, and went to grab some water for a sugarcane farm. I had just a place where I wanted to put this thing. I had to do it below ground so that the water wouldn't freeze, but I made a big area where I'd put it. Once the area was hollowed out, I decided to make a nice floor, and then go to bed to see if the Yetis would be there. Maybe today was a fluke. Alright, let's hope there's no more Yetis. I'm gonna go check. And no, of course there is. There's way more this time. I don't think I'll be able to take all these on. I was curious. There wasn't a sound, so how did these spawn? Nevertheless, I had to kill them. If I could do each of these one by one, then I'd be able to defeat all of them. I took out the first one, and now it's time for the second one. This one grabbed me before I could take out the other one, and tossed me in the air. The other one had caught me and tried to toss me too. I killed the other one, and this one threw me in the air, and I did an MOG water clutch. I was very proud of that. Then they both sprinted back at me. I killed one and then killed the other, and now they are all defeated. I checked the surrounding areas to see if there's anything else, then collected all the loot. Since I had a lot of Arctic fur, I wanted to see if I could craft anything, and I was actually able to. I wanted to save it because I might need it for later though. And for the rest of the day, it was spent finishing up my sugarcane farm. There were still a few more things I needed to do, but I was basically finished with it. I did want the roof, so I made some slabs, and then I went to bed. For sugarcane to grow, you're gonna need some light, so I used all my glowstone, put it in the roof, and on the sides of the walls to make the whole area look better. Now it's time for the crucial part, which is planting the sugarcane, and now my whole house looked a lot better. Just in case any more mobs were starting to pop up, I decided to enchant just my iron armor so I could have a bit more protection. If there's more yetis out there, I swear I'm gonna be irritated. Oh my gosh, again! Now I have to deal with these things again. I was kind of irritated, as you could tell from the clip. Now I just had to deal with these things. It threw me way high into the air and tried to do it again. That one was super fast for some reason. At this point, I wasn't even worried about dying. These things are pretty easy to kill, even when they throw you on trees. Now I'm just wondering, what's sending these things? There must be some deeper meaning. I think I need to go out adventuring to see if I could find the solution. But before I go out, I want to see what these Arctic leggings can do. I had a lot of the fur, so I enchanted them with protection 1, and I made an Arctic hood because I could also make that, and I gave that protection 1 also. Now I was looking the part. I think it's time we go out adventuring to see what the problem is. I was running next to a nearby mountain, and it started to snow heavily. I was wondering what was going on. After one more day of running, I made my way to the mountain, and the Alpha Yeti appeared. This terrified me, but it also answered a lot of my questions. But anyways, I couldn't think about that now. This was the thing that's been trying to kill me, so I have to kill this before it sends even more Yetis. Okay, we're gonna have to scale the mountain quietly. I don't want this thing to hear me yet. We made it to the top. Let's try and ambush him. What's he doing? Oh, he shot an ice ball at me. Okay, I was able to deflect it. I have to get closer now. He's sending another one my way. Zombie, you're being really annoying. You have to die. I need to get closer and kill this thing. What's he doing? I'm taking a lot of damage and I can't move. What's going on? I think I need to retreat back and heal up. Basically out of food. I have to finish this now. He's still doing an ice barrage. Oh, he shot an ice bomb at me. I have to get out of the way. I need to find a way to get closer and kill this guy. He keeps shooting his ice bombs at me. Alright, we're both down the mountain. I have to get some hits in right now. Okay, that was a good hit. I gotta get another one. Oh, another ice barrage. He's got me half health. I gotta get out of here. This guy is way too powerful. I think I need to retreat. I ended up retreating because he was just way too powerful. And I didn't have enough food. I'm gonna have to go back and fight him another day. But next time, I'll win. One of the biggest factors in me losing that battle was because I didn't have enough food, so next time I'm gonna have to kill a lot of cows in preparation. Also, my armor is looking like absolute garbage. My armor isn't even enchanted like my chest plate. The next few days, I think I'm gonna grind up making a bunch of bookshelves, doing a lot of sugarcane farming, and doing some farming. But before we do that, we gotta make the house look snazzy, and I have some extra glowstone, so I wanna add an underglow underneath these chests. I was about to go do some farming when I realized it was late, so I went to bed. And if I want to have any good enchants, then I'm actually going to need some XP, so I went mining for some nether quartz. I came back later with 20 levels, which isn't the most, but it's a good amount, and then I did some farming because I needed to do that too. I was fresh out of seeds, so I broke all the grass that I saw around me to grab seeds and plant them into my farm. I was going to use this farm a lot for breeding more things, but before that, I have to get some stuff done. I farmed a lot more sugarcane on days 52 through 60, did a lot more farming, and bred up all the cows a whole bunch. All this farming stuff is super boring, but I wanted to be prepared the next time I fought the Yeti so I wouldn't die. In the days prior to 60, I did a lot of farming on my cow farm because I bred them up a ton, and I was also able to finish the enchanting room, which was actually easier than the cow's been. I also put glowstone around the enchanting table to brighten it up a little bit, and then I started to enchant my tools and armor. And I got a lot of great enchants, like protection 2 on the diamond chestplate. I then made some arrows so I could have some projectiles when I was fighting the Yeti. I sat on my log and pondered what I was going to do tomorrow, and I knew what I was going to do. I was going to defeat the Yeti. Immediately when I woke up, I knew the Yeti knew, because the clouds started to surround me, so it was time to battle. But first, I had to get to the mountain. As I was running up the side of the mountain, I found him right where I had retreated a couple days ago. Alright, it's time to bow him. Let's see if this bow works. Wait, it's not doing any damage. It's bouncing off. If this guy's bow resistant, I'm gonna have a hard time. Alright, I'm gonna move in. Oh, he's coming at me. I gotta get back. None of my bow shots are landing. Is this guy bow resistant? Alright, I don't need my bow. I have my axe. I'm going in. Okay, I got him with one hit. Oh no, the ice storm. I need to retreat behind this tree. Hopefully this will protect me from his attacks. Oh, I see an ice bomb up there. Wait, he's sitting down. Let me try the bow now. The bow's working. When he's sitting down, I can use the bow. Oh, he's standing up. Okay, the bow doesn't work anymore. Now I know how to kill him. Getting a lot of good hits in right now. Another snowstorm. I gotta retreat behind the tree. That was close. He got me with hypothermia. Let me see if I can use my bow right now. I can. Let me get some shots in on him. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Can we get a 4th? We can. 5. Oh, we couldn't get the 5th one in. Wait, what is he doing? He picked me up and threw me. Okay, didn't do that much damage. There's a tree there. Let me go in with the axe again. He's doing another ice storm. I gotta get out of there. Oh, he's destroying that tree. This Alpha Yeti's insanely powerful. That tree is gone. Oh, he's getting me with his ice bombs. This is a long-range attack. He's almost dead, though. Let's bow at him. He's sitting down. Get a couple shots. Let me go in with my axe now. Wait, he picked me up again. Threw me. Okay, didn't do that much damage. We're still good. Another ice storm. I'm almost at half health. Let me bow at him. I think I should be able to win this. He's one tap. I'm going in with the axe. Oh, never mind, I'm at half health. I'm gonna go in with one more bow shot and finish him off. After that intense battle, I went to see what the loot was, and it was awesome. I'd gotten Ice Bomb's Alpha Yeti fur and the full set of Yeti armor. I was getting a little too antsy, so I wanted to try one of the Ice Bombs out. In hindsight, I should have tried it on a mob, but I just wanted to try it out right there. I feel like it would have been more impressive if I tried it on a mob. Anyways, I'm gonna try on the Yeti armor and see how it looks, and I think it looks amazing. Plus, it fills up all the bars, and it's snow resistant. I made my way back home, and I checked the roof, and it was full again. That was kind of irritating, but I had full Yeti armor, and I felt very achieved. On my high horse, I decided to go clear some snow off my roof. After that, I decided to make myself an anvil so I could enchant some books, so I could use those to get better things on my armor. The pathway was also looking like trash, so I cleared that up and then went right into the nether to get some XP. It was grind time enchanting, baby, so I got a lot of XP and spent a lot of days in the nether. 4 days later, I got back through the nether portal and came to the overworld. And I had 33 levels, so life was good. I threw away some of the snowballs that I had in excess, made a new diamond shovel and enchanted that too. I got Unbreaking 3 and Efficiency 3 on that shovel too. I was enchanting books when I got the Fire Aspect 1 enchant. I would save that for later, because right now I like burning my cows manually. If I was going to be adventuring some more, I kind of want a landmark to look for to find my house, because I've been having trouble with that. So I think I'm going to make a cool build so I can find my house a little easier, and it would just look cool. I spent the rest of the day mining the trees, and then I woke up and on day 69, haha, I started the new build. Since this is going to be a landmark, I want it to be a little taller than the trees, so I built a cool watchtower. Now I'll let you enjoy the music. I finished up this build on day 70, and I made a water elevator that really sucked. I should have just used ladders instead. I went to bed, and the next day I woke up and went outside to do some more tasks, and I found a bunch of these snowflake things all surrounding me. And it wasn't just on the right side of the yard this time, it was all over my property. It wasn't Yeti, so I was wondering, what else is trying to kill me? Man, why do I have to deal with this stuff again? This was a big inconvenience because I just wanted to get some work done around the property. With the new armor, these things were not that strong, but they were still an inconvenience. Alright, I just gotta finish up polishing off the rest of these. Oh, I'm actually getting kind of low. At one point I was pretty low, so I went back to the watchtower to heal up, and then I started fighting the rest of them. Finally, I'm able to kill the last one. I hope there's no more. And thank goodness there wasn't any more, because that used up a lot of my food. So I had to get a lot of it back, and I did that through mass arson. I got a lot of steak, let's just say that, but then it was still snowing and I was trying to clear the top of my roof, but it just kept coming back, so I gave up. I wanted to see what was behind all of that ice attacks, so I went on an adventure to see. And as you can tell, I came back with absolutely nothing, but a little less food. But at least I can wave some of the anger from that out on these mobs. These things are insane on the Arctic Island. The Volcanic Island ones were nowhere near as powerful. These spider creatures were crazy and I could barely hit them, and there was a baby zombie after me, which didn't help. A couple hits later, I finished off the first one, then I got to finish off the second one, and the zombie. There were some weird noises, so I swiftly went to bed. I woke up the next morning and there was a witch, and it was kind of being I'll let you fill in the blank there. Because of that, I had to finish it off. My crops are almost fully grown, and I haven't harvested them in a while, so I just did that. And I think I owed my cows a little bit of food after slaughtering almost half the population. I kinda reminded myself of Thanos. Anyways, I spent the next couple of days getting a couple more levels, and then enchanting books so I can enchant my armor and make it better. I got Depth Strider 3 and a bunch of other stuff on my boots, and they were looking great. The last thing I could do was just enchant some books, and I needed some more levels to get Sharp 3. I did a quick nether trip, came back, and then I got myself a Sharpness 3 book. But not only a Sharpness 3 book, I enchanted tons of other books to see if I could get any protection, and after a lot of enchanting, this is what I got. Protection 2 on the helmet, Protection 3 on the chestplate, Protection 3 on the leggings, and Protection 3 and a bunch of other stuff on the boots. Aside from that, I was slaughtering a bunch of my cows, and I kind of burnt the whole place down, so I had to get them all back into their pen and replace it. I finished up with the cows, went to bed, and decided to decorate my tower. It was pretty lackluster, so I added some chests and some other things to make it look a little bit better. I also wanted to get rid of that ugly and awful working water elevator, so I replaced it for actual ladders, and it was much more efficient. I spent the rest of the night sitting in my towers, waiting for mobs to spawn so I could destroy them. Soon enough, they came right to my front doorstep, and they were jumping all over the place like this spider was. Now I just had to finish off all those mobs before I could go to bed. I killed all the zombies and everything, went to bed, now it's day 83. My mobs were kind of red, you could say. I don't know. I don't discriminate, you know. Aside from that, I started to enchant a lot more books, and I had enchanted a lot of books, and I was fresh out of XP, so I went back in for more XP. I only really needed 24 levels just because I needed to enchant some books onto my helmet. Now I had full protection 3 armor, which was amazing. Do you know what's not amazing? This. Snow on your roof, and you can't get it off. It's pretty annoying. That's why I slept, the snow disappeared, and I could get it off my roof. And if you thought I hadn't tortured the cows enough, you were wrong, because I threw an ice bomb inside of there. A lot of the cows actually weren't dying, but it was kind of funny to watch. Soon after that, I wanted to build a cool area and gate around my fence, just so no mobs would spawn around there. And of course, leaves look the most pretty, so I built a whole border around my house. And it was looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. I came back and got some more leaves to finish up this area because I want to connect it to the tower also. I didn't want this grass or snowy pathway, it was kind of disgusting, so I mined out an area, got some gravel to fill it in and make the pathway look good. I got inside my house to go to sleep, but then the clouds started swarming and it started to snow again. I had a bad feeling about this snowfall, so I went to sleep, finished up my pathway, and took a good look at my property from the tower. Now I wanted to go see what was going on with this island, so I went exploring. But of course the exploring didn't last long because I got minor fatigue as I was running. I didn't know how it happened, but I was able to drink some milk and then go back to exploring. On my adventures, I found this cool ice pathway that led straight to the ocean, and I knew what I had to do. You guys haven't seen this, but this is about take 10. Let's hope I can get down this. Alright, we're gonna call that good enough. It took me a long time to get down that thing in a smooth manner, but I eventually got into it, went over to the ocean, and watched the sunset. I didn't really find anything until I was running down this mountainside. I found all of these frost things, and I knew what I had to do. I had to go take on each and every single one of them. It actually looked like they were killing themselves, which kind of helped out a lot. I'd been looking for a sign for anything, and I guess this must have been a clue. I ran home, and there was some noise chasing after me, but I finally got into my bed and went to sleep. I decided to head back out to that location during the day to see if anything would have changed. And as I was scaling the mountain, I saw something. The frost maw. The frost maw was here on the mountain. I had to be really quiet. Okay, it's the frost maw. Everything we've been leading up to. Let's see if we can kill this thing. The second I got close to it, the weather had started to go away. I knew this would be hard. I'm gonna charge full speed at it and hit it. Wait, my head didn't land. It ate something. Oh no, I have to run away. It's charging up some kind of attack. I have to get out of the way. Oh, I'm frozen. I can't move. Please, please get out. I have to run. It's shooting something at me. Please, I can't die here. Please, no. Oh, I didn't die. Okay, good, good. I have to run away. I have to retreat. This frost maw is super powerful. But because you hit me, I have to hit you back. It's shooting that frosting back at me again. I'm already pretty low. Wait, what just broke? What just broke? I think one of my armor pieces broke. My helmet broke. I have to retreat. I can't defeat him right now. I need to get away before he kills me. Wait, I'm frozen. No, please, please, he's coming. I gotta get out of here. Alright, I got out. I gotta keep running. He's still chasing me. Wait, I'm frozen again. He's still coming. Please, no. I can't die here. He's getting me with his ice attack again. I'm frozen. No, he's gonna hit me. Oh, I'm on 1 heart. I got to 1 heart. I have to retreat now. I cannot beat him yet. After that intense battle, I was finally able to escape and get home, but I also lost my helmet. I then remembered that I still had some Yeti fur, so I was able to craft a new helmet. But if I was gonna be able to defeat this frost maw, I would need some better enchants, so I got it protection 3 again. Now at least I had full armor. There was a lot of raw beef on the ground and I didn't want it to go to waste, so I collected it and then smelted it up. I need better enchants, so I need to get some XP to do that. I came back with 36 levels after 3 days of mining, and then I got Unbreaking 3 on my Yeti jacket because it was the last one I had. I still had 1 Yeti alpha fur and I was able to give it a bit more durability. I wanted more protection on all my stuff, but I enchanted a bunch of books and nothing really worked. I needed to go adventure to find something on the island. I was running and I couldn't find anything yet. But then I came across this ice cave. There's something inside of it. This was relatively close to my house. I wondered why I couldn't find this before. I decided to go inside the ice cave, making sure that there were no booby traps. I then went over and collected the item. It was an ice sword. This is what I needed to defeat the frost maw. I was irritated because if I had done a bit more adventuring sooner, I could have found this. Found my way home with my big landmark tower, tested this out on some cows. The cows got frozen and they died. I also tried this on chickens, and even more cows. Then I realized the durability is crap, so I have to give this thing Unbreaking. I went over to my enchanting book stash, grabbed my sharpness 3 book. I knew I'd need it for later. Now it has sharpness 3. I also remember I had my fire aspect books that I made fire aspect 2, so I was able to enchant this with fire aspect 2 to see if it would freeze them and burn them at the same time, because that would be OP. And of course it did. This sword was now super OP. I still didn't have any Unbreaking books that I could find, so I enchanted a lot more books to see if I can get one. With all those books, I couldn't get a single Unbreaking enchant, so I went to bed, and the next day I tried again. I still couldn't get a single Unbreaking enchant, and I really needed it if I was going to fight the frost maw. I was looking through all my other books, and then I found an Unbreaking 1 book. This would be just enough to fight the frost maw. Because the Frostmaw can destroy armor, I decided to grab an extra set just in case. I also wanted some projectile attacks, so I grabbed my bow, crafted up some arrows, and now it was time to go. Now I could go and defeat the Frostmaw. After 2 days of traveling, it started to get really snowy, so I knew I was close. I couldn't find him in my old spot, so I continued going up the mountain to see if I could find him. And I didn't have to wait too long, because the Frostmaw was at full health and back up on the mountain. This isn't going to be the same like last time. I have a new ice sword. I still have to be really careful. I want to sneak up next to him and see if I can get some bow shots off on him. Alright, now I'm close. Let me see if I can get a bow shot. The bow shot did no damage, and he's awake. Oh, I made him mad. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, he shot an ice ball at me. Luckily, I was able to dodge. He's coming closer. This is where I want him. Close range where I can get some axe hits. Let's do this. Ice bomb, go! But he got me with his own ice ball and started to hit me with his own arctic winds. I was getting a little low. I have to find a way to use my sword on this guy. The ice bombs are working, but I'm running low on him. Hey, is he about to shoot up? Oh, he got me again. Need to find a spot where I can heal up. Ah, that one hurt. This guy's getting a little too full of himself. I think I gotta get him with my sword. Alright, let's do it. Oh, the fire's working. I think I'm doing more damage than he's doing to me. Wait, he got me frozen again and he slapped me. I need to retreat and heal up. The sword worked good last time. Let's do it again. Ah, I can't get to him. The pressure he's exerting. Okay, I can now. Let's do it. It looks like the fire's actually doing some work on him. I can see his health ticking down. I gotta hit him with this sword a couple more times if I want to do anything. Wait, what's he doing? That's when the Frostmaw hit me with the 1-2 combo. I wasn't very happy with this because my health was getting pretty low. His health was getting low too. I noticed it going down with the fire. Alright, big boy, let's finish this up. You're not gonna beat me this time. Or maybe you are, okay. I swear I didn't mean it, bro. Haha, loser, I fooled you. At this point, the Frostmaw was starting to get angry and he stood up on his 2 legs and I knew something was happening. I don't think the Frostmaw is pretty happy with my joke. Alright, I'm going in. Let's do it. Wait, come on. I didn't get a single hit in and I'm frozen. How's he getting even more powerful? At this point, I didn't know if I was going to be able to defeat him. I was on low health and I couldn't regen. And there's this skeleton thing giving me slowness trying to not help. Skeleton, this is not the time. I remembered I brought extra armor with me, and this was the perfect circumstance because my pants had broke. Now I could go in for the kill with having a bit more armor. Come on, Frostmaw, work with me. I still have to edit this video. He kept hitting me with a barrage of attacks and I couldn't move. This might have been it. He didn't do his grand slam attack, which would have finished me off, so I'm very happy about that. Why are you standing on your hind legs? Oh, he just did it. If he did that sooner, I would have died, but I finished him off. I successfully did it. I killed the Frostmaw, and this baby zombie was just ruining my moment. I picked up the ice crystal to go use it on the skeleton over here that almost killed me. Anyways, thank you so much again for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe if you did enjoy. We're so close to 100,000, and I gotta stop the winter, so you kinda have to subscribe now. In this video, I will survive on 100 days on a Minecraft aquatic island. This island is full of aquatic creatures. Some are friendly, and some are not. But I'm going to do my best to survive 100 days on this aquatic island. For this video, I have 3 goals. My main goal is to get all Neptunium armor and tools. My second goal is to kill a sea serpent. And my final goal is to get a big ship that I can sail the seas with. Can I survive 100 days on this Minecraft aquatic island? Watch until the end to find out. Also, subscribe if you end up enjoying the video. And make sure to watch the whole video for its insane ending. Lastly, enjoy the video. Day 1, I spawned on the island ready to start. I began by getting wood, which is always the way to start Minecraft. Soon after that, I grabbed some wood tools, ran over to the mountain, and got some stone so I can make stone tools. Soon after that, I went into the water to see what was in it. I found some jellyfish up right here, so I decided to kill them to see what they dropped. They ended up dropping jellyfish, but you can also smelt these down and make them into slime blocks. I saw the shark over there, and I said, you know what, I'm good on water for now. But right after that, I jumped into the water to see, and there were 2 great white sharks. So going near the water was deadly. I mined a bit of cobble, and then when it got later in the night, I killed this bunny for no apparent reason, but I just wanted to kill it. Yeah. With the cobble that I mined, I made a little cave area so I could sleep and not die by the mobs. The stars were really pretty though with this new shader pack. I sat in my cave and waited till day number 2. Day 2 started and I looked inside the water. I saw the shark attacking everything in there. I knew I needed some iron, so I decided to dig down a mine to get some. Hopefully I'd be able to find a cave, because caving is much better. I crafted a chest to throw all my junk in. I did not want to keep that in my inventory. I made a new stone pick because mine broke from mining for so long. I grabbed a piece of coal because it was dark very dark down there. After a bit of mining, I found this entryway to a cave. It was really cool. There's water and there's iron up there, so I knew I had some iron. I blocked up there like a Hypixel sweat and got a bunch of iron. There was a lot more than I expected. After grabbing the iron, I knew I needed some coal to smelt it, and luckily there was some coal right here in the cave. There was some gold and actually emeralds, but I couldn't mine those quite yet. I went upstairs and smelted the iron so I can get a pick going and maybe an axe. While I waited for that to get done, I mined a bunch of logs. It wasn't a bunch because I got bored and didn't want to mine logs yet, but I did make my way to the top of the mountain and got a good lay of the land. By the time I got down, it was nighttime, and I just got one cooked rabbit from the rabbit I killed in the beginning. But I did make an iron pick, a bucket, a shield, and an iron axe. To end off day 2, I cooked the jellyfish and got some slime balls. Day 3, I needed food. I did not want to die from hunger, so I killed this aquatic pig. I don't know, it dropped me pork chops. I noticed that there were some sheep up on the mountain. I killed them so I could finally get a bed. Because there was some ocean behind me, I jumped in the water and saw this whale. It was really cool to see this in Minecraft. I hope they add it later. I went down to the mines and grabbed some ores that I previously couldn't. To end off day 3, I cooked some food and smelted some iron. I got a helmet and a chest plate, and I was feeling better to do some more cave exploring. I found this new big cave that had a bunch more resources, and some more mobs, of course. And let me tell you, fighting creepers in the pitch black is not fun. I continued to gather some ores until I came up on this. It was a giant aimbot trap. Just a bunch of skeletons. I thought there was a spawner down there. I stayed up on the top of the area and got more gold and iron, so I was full kitted out and able to place down torches so no more mobs would spawn. And of course, while I'm trying to leave, I have to deal with this. I got back down there when there were no more mobs, and continued to mine more ores after switching my shader pack so I could see a little bit better. And down here in the cave, I was able to find my first diamonds. I got a few more diamonds after that. This cave was loaded with them. I was very happy and it was great. Day 4 through 6 and we already have a bunch of diamonds. I exited the cave and when I came up there, I got a nice surprise. There's a bunch of mobs waiting for me, so I couldn't sleep. So I had to finish those mobs off, and then I could sleep. On day 7, I woke up with all my diamonds. I was feeling all rich, so I made myself a diamond axe, diamond helmet, and a diamond pickaxe. I knew I needed to make an AFK fish farm, so I took some of the iron I mined and made a trapdoor. I was running low on the wood supply, so I went over and mined a bunch of trees with my new diamond axe. That should be about good. I made a nice treasure chest and started to mine some sand because I have a project later on in the video. You'll want to stay tuned for it. It's sick. With some iron nuggets, I was able to make a fishing rod, and if you make 2 of them, 2 fishing hooks, you can make a double hook and just increase your chances of better fishing. I spent the next days 7 through 9 mining. I still needed a ton more ores to make everything happen. And of course, because I had a diamond pickaxe, I did the long, tasky job of getting some obsidian. I got out on day 9, had to kill some more skeletons, the most annoying mob in the game. I woke up on day 10 and made a fishing rod. After that, I made a nice iron fillet knife. Fillet knives can take fish and turn them into raw fish fillets, so you can cook and eat fish. I planted some more cactus so I can get them growing. And destroyed a ton of grass so I can get some seeds and start a farm. With everything that I needed ready to make a worm farm, I made one. Worm farms can take seeds and turn them into worms. You take those worms, put them on your fishing rod, and you'll catch more fish. I watched the sunset and waited for day 11. On day 11, I made some bone meal so that I can get started on making the farm a little better. So I just expanded it and turned those into worms. I used some of the glass that I had to make this tunnel way. I ended up scrapping the idea after hollowing it all out. It was just bad and I didn't like how it looked. I had a ton of spare iron that I picked up from mining. I turned those into some hoppers that I could use for the AFK fish farm. I made the note block, used the trapdoor, And this AFK fish farm is pretty simple, but it works because this mod allows me to fish up anything so I can get all the best loot from fishing. I AFK fished for like a couple minutes until I got something, and the first thing I got was a nice fish. The next goal of mine was to make a tackle box. I could use this to put worms on my new fishing rods and hooks and things like that. I needed some of my cactus to smelt that up and make it into green dye. Now that I have my tackle box, I put it right next to my AFK fish farm, opened it up, and I couldn't quite put my regular fishing rod in there, so I had to make an iron fishing rod. It was pretty simple, just a couple irons, some string, and a stick. Now that I had my iron fishing rod, I was able to put it in the tackle box and attach some worms and hooks and a bunch of other things. I wanted to build an actual house, so I needed some wood for the job. I got that and began to build out the dock to the house. I finished up with that. I needed to resume it in the morning, so I went home and went to bed. On day 11, I took some of my slabs and started to place them on the outside of the dock so I could actually walk on it. To finish up the dock, I needed to place some more fences on it. And boom, it was done. Now I had to build out the raft area where I'd put the house on top of. But for that, I needed a bunch more wood, so I spent a lot of day 12 mining some wood. After getting tons and tons and stacks of wood, I had a bunch and started putting it up for the supports to the house. With that epic 360, of course. It was getting late, I got all the supports up, so I jumped down, swam over, and went to bed. On day 13, I knew I needed a floor in my house, so I took some cobblestone slabs and made the floor. Once I had the whole floor done, I made a cutout for where I'm going to put the little special surprise that I mentioned when I was digging the sand. I placed in all of the walls to the house, then disassembled my whole AFK fish farm to move it into the house. I got it moved into the top left corner, and began to place in the glass panes for the windows. By the end of day 13, I had all of the glass panes put in and went to bed. Day 14, I decided to work on the roof of the house. I was running pretty low on wood, so I grabbed a bunch of that. After getting a bunch from that location, I hopped on my boat to row across the lake to get some wood from the other side of the island. And when I got there, I did exactly what I said I was going to do, get wood. I got wood and it started raining. It was pretty cool, the ground looked awesome with these shaders. I picked up some tulips as I was going along. I don't know, they look cool. I saw this lava pool and it looked very cool as well with the rain. When I got back, I decided to plant the sugarcane outside of my house and make some walls inside the house before I put on the roof. Midway through making my walls, there was thunder, and I'm like, okay, I don't want anything to burn even though it is raining, so I'm gonna go to bed. A now sunny day on day 16, I decided to finally finish up the roof. It was looking flat, but at least it was done. I wanted some more natural light, so I broke some of the roof off to put glass in. I did the last final touches on the roof, and then did some midnight fishing to end off day 16. Day 17, I made a bunch of crafting tables and put them all over the house, along with some more chests. When that was done, I did some farming, then turned those seeds into worms. I took a sand block and finally filled in that gap that has been annoying me forever, and organized my chest for the rest of the day. Day 18, I took some of the wheat that I had gathered and turned it into bread because I was starving. I went up to the mountains and found some sheep. I wanted to get a little bit of a farm going, so I took some sheep and brought them back home with me and shoved them in a hole. I bred them, and that was their pen for the time being. I also found some more sheep. The stragglers that I didn't get, I killed to get some more temporary food. And you can't just kill the sheep, you gotta kill the cows here too, you know? Nothing like watching the sunset after slaughtering some animals. During the nighttime of day 18, I placed a bunch of torches around the beach so that no mobs would spawn. Day 19, I started off by turning some sugarcane into paper, making a book, and now I had everything to make an enchanting table. I didn't have books though, so I would need to get those eventually. I enchanted all of my stuff with some basic enchants like efficiency 1 and protection 1 and stuff like that. Soon after enchanting all those things, I ventured forward on the high seas to go destroy a beach. Soon after I broke my shovel, I hopped in the ocean to see what I could find, and I found this box jellyfish. I killed it and it gave me a cool achievement, Death to the Danger Cube. I just thought that was cool. I went and smelted up all of my sand so I can get 4 stacks of glass going, and instead of doing something else, I just AFK'd and waited for the sand to finish. I got my glass out of the furnaces and started placing the glass in the roof. Once that was done, I got to work on my secret project, which I don't know if it's very secret, but I'm going to make a glass bubble down here and make it look cool so I can see all the water and all the animals. I made a few more shovels and decided to enchant them so I can get more sand because I will need a lot more for this project. So I hopped on my boat and went right back to the beach. After 2 days of mining sand straight, I mined out the entire beach. It was quite the hole I made. But I had a lot of sand, and that'll really help with the bubble that I'm going to make down there. But first, I needed to harvest and replant some sugarcane. I went down into the caves to get some more coal, so I can actually use my furnaces, but the zombie was in the way. There was a giant amount of coal right here, so I went and got a lot of this. While I was mining the coal, I found a singular diamond behind the coal. It was pretty crazy. When I finished coal mining, it was day 24. Now all I needed to do was spread it out in my inventory and place the sand into the furnaces. Instead of waiting this time, I decided to do some AFK fishing after I slept, so I AFK fished days 25 through 30. On the night of day 30, I opened the chest and I got a ton of amazing things. I got 6 Neptunium ingots. I was able to make a pickaxe and an axe. The axe can do a lot of damage underwater, and the pickaxe can mine underwater, and it's basically just like a diamond one. So these are very OP, and they look sick. I could break this glass with this pickaxe extremely quick. This will make making this bubble an extremely easy task. I started to hollow out the water because I want to be able to breathe. Soon after that, I dug it all out with my shovel, and now I had a nice air pocket that I could drop down into. By that time, it was nighttime. So I went and swam back up into my house. I got my fishing rod out, ran over to the other side of the mountain, and watched the sunset. It was a very gorgeous sunset. Day 32 through 33, I got some food cooking and needed to continue on making my bubble. I decided that I would do this in the form of a time lapse. With a lot of work, I finished the whole thing. Now all I needed to do was hollow it out, and I'd be done. It is now day 34, I ate my cooked fish fillet, and got down there and started to hollow it out. And of course, it wasn't long before I ran out of sand, so I hopped back on my little boat and rowed back over to destroy the beach. I came back with a couple stacks of sand and began to work on the bubble. Got to the point where I was almost done, but I ran out of sand, so I had to go back to the beach, grab a couple more blocks, then go back and finish. While I was running home, I noticed this guy. I grabbed some of my emeralds and decided to trade with him to see what he had. He really didn't have much, but he did have podzol and a few other things that the island didn't have, so I said, you know what, I'll take them just because the island didn't have them. And you already know I had to get myself some leads. Days 36 through 37, the wandering trader popped back up again, and I finally was able to finish up the rest of the bubble. But now that I finished it, I had to destroy it all. I used these shaders. If you guys want me to use these shaders in the next video, then this thing better get like 200k views, because this will blow up my PC, and I need a 3080 to run them.
Please share to all your friends.
But yeah, I crafted some chests and was able to move everything down into here with a nice 360 MOG water clutch. It looked pretty cool. It does look cooler with the better shaders. So, yeah, that 200k views, let's make that happen, baby. I'm saying this while it's probably going to get 2k views. I'll take it, but it ain't no 200k. But yeah, I put these chests in there and put my enchanting table to this side of the bubble and then did some AFK fishing. It wasn't really AFK because I got a catch pretty quick. It was a pretty nice fishing rod. I was going to use it. It had luck of the sea 3 and unbreaking 3, which was awesome. I made some torches to go back down into the mines. I wanted some more resources such as coal, you know, redstone, literally anything would work. But I'm not about to turn a diamond down when I see it, you know? I got out of the caves on the morning of day 39. It was a gorgeous sunrise. I put in all of my new ores that I just mined, took out my good cooked fish, and now I was getting some ores going. I went back to check up on the sheep. They were still chilling there, and all the crops were done, so I decided to harvest them, and of course turn the seeds into some worms. And I got quite a lot of worms. With the leftover wheat, I breeded the sheep a couple more times, and made myself an anvil with the iron that was smelting. I took the anvil, did a 360 MOG clutch, and put it down in my bubble. I got back upstairs with my tackle box. I stuck my worms that I just acquired, put them in there. I opened up the chest and it had the good fishing rod still in there. I didn't want the thing to break, so I went over to my tools chest to see if I had any fishing rods. I had this good one, so I went down to the anvil with another 360 MOG clutch and repaired it. With that fishing rod, I decided to AFK for a couple more days to see what I would get. The AFK stopped on day 43, and I had a Neptune's bounty and a bunch of other cool loot that I collected. I opened the Neptune's bounty, it had 4 of the Neptunium ingots, a helmet, and a Neptunium shovel. Plus, it was a cool chest. I went to bed on day 43, and on day 44, I put on the Neptunium helmet. It looked pretty dope. I jumped down into the water and saw a great white shark. I thought I'd be able to take it on, so I swam closer to it. Immediately when it started charging at me, I'm like, alright, I'm dipping. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm out of the water. Stayed there for a little while, and guess who was there greeting me? Great white shark himself. He bit me, and I didn't know blood would come out, and it did a lot more damage than I expected. I grabbed my cooked fillets and ate, because it just kept coming. I was bleeding out by one shark bite. One shark bite. It got me down to 1 heart before I saved myself. Right when I thought I got away, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. I'm kind of done with this area down here. And guess who comes up behind me? Yeah, the shark. He can get you through glass. So I wasn't able to get up because the knockback kept shooting me down. Not to mention the blood was in the way. So I had to fall down before the shark killed me. He was just sitting up there, just trying to get me. I'm like, okay, shark, have a good day. Please leave. And of course this is hardcore, so I couldn't just go fight the guy, respawn, fight the guy again. So I had to heal up before I could fight him. Eventually he was not able to catch me, so I was able to swim up from the bubble. But he was still down there waiting for me. I said, okay, it's time to turn on the blow up your PC kind of shaders and see him. Swam right at me, and I'm like, okay. I had my bow ready, so I shot him, and I guess he was one tap from the hits that I'd already done before. But still. He caused me a lot of trouble, now he is dead, and I got his tooth. Victory at last, baby. I might be a little cringe, but that's what we are on the Dr. Duke channel. So I made boots, and I went down to the room to enchant them now that the shark was finally gone. Nothing decent on it. I got prot 1 on the helmet, saw what I could get on the boots. I just got prot 1 also. So now I had prot 1 boots and a helmet. At this point, I had tons of junk in my inventory, so I just threw it all in a chest and went to bed. Day 45, I had my shovel that I needed to enchant. I got efficiency 1 on it. I thought I'd be able to get unbreaking by doing the max levels for the enchant, but I didn't. Soon after that, I hopped on the boat, and I saw a bunch, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of these aquatic pig things. I use these a lot to get food, so I'm like, okay, these have been causing a little bit of frame drop, so I had to remove all of them, which meant killing all of them. And I looked under, and I knew this would be a big task, so yeah, I spent the next 3 days removing these guys. They were all able to be one-tapped, which was nice, but it was still pretty annoying. I got enough raw pork chops to last me a lifetime in the game and real life. But yeah, I got some obsidian. I got 10 to make a portal before I saw this guy and got PTSD and had to kill him. And then I went back to go get some more obsidian. Now I actually had 12, I guess. I rode back home before I saw this shark and it attacked me, because they always do. Sharks are the greatest mob in the game. I healed myself really quick, so I didn't take too much damage, only about half my hearts. I went down into the bubble area. When I was almost done with the nether portal, I realized I made it big, which it does look better big, but I needed to go back and get more obsidian, and then go back and actually finish the nether portal. Now I was done, it was looking pretty good. The last thing I had to do was light it up, and you could actually see through it. You could see the mobs and like the terrain of the underwater, which I thought was pretty cool. I went in, and I started to mine because I saw no open land anywhere. I mined for quite a long time. I made a giant staircase, and I gave up after a while because I really didn't need to go to the nether. I came back home and went to sleep. Day 50, I started off by collecting my pork chops that I earned very much so by killing all of those pigs. Now it was time to get on the chop wood hunt. Yeah, it was a grind. I chopped a lot of wood. I saw this bird up in the sky. It was very pretty. And of course, naturally, if you see something gorgeous, you want to kill it. Yeah, I only killed, two birds. Only 2. They dropped feathers, though, so that's something you probably didn't know. I said, okay, I'll give back to the environment, and I replanted some trees. Then collected all the pork chops from the aquatic pigs that I killed. I wanted to make a dock area because I know that I have a boats mod installed. This mod allows you to get cool boats, and I wanted a place to store them, so I made this dock. I got to a good stopping point with the dock, so I went home and went to sleep. Day 51, I had to resume the work on the dock because it was not done yet, and I wanted to make this boat. I needed a sail, some leads, I needed a lot more wool and stuff like that, but first I needed some more slime balls, so I went into the ocean and killed some jellyfish. With those jellyfish, I was able to smelt them into slime balls, and then make 2 leads, the 2 leads that I needed. Over on the other side of the island, I did a 180 MOG clutch to shear these sheep. Now I had everything that I needed to make the oak dracal or whatever it's called. But I have the boat, I placed it down, and it's huge and it looks absolutely sick. I was very proud. Now I wanted to take this thing for a spin and see how good it looked on the dock. I got it in the ocean, in the water, and it was very, very fast. Definitely going to upgrade my transportation for going across the island and the ocean. Day 52, I grabbed my bed and made some ladders so I can get up and down from the bubble room. I also wanted to move my bed down there, and now I could finally get up without having to use a water bucket. It's definitely not the best way to get up and down from your underwater room, but it works. I made some lanterns and placed them in the underwater room for better lighting, and I felt like making a boat cinematic with some amazing music, so enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that because it was awesome. I did some farming and got some sand to end off day 52. Days 53 through 56, I took a bunch of the sand that I'd gathered and started placing it underneath the bubble so it would look better because it looks better than dirt. It was a process because I didn't have underwater breathing yet. I also slaughtered a bunch of cows on the mountainside because I wanted some leather. I was on the hunt for neptunium armor, and the only way to get that is fishing, so I fished. I opened up the chest and there was a ton of loot. There was also a message in a bottle. I've never gotten one of those before. I right-clicked on the message on the bottle and it says so much room for activities, which I guess there is. In the Neptune's bounty, there was a bunch of Neptunium stuff and treasures. With the Neptunium ingots that I had, I was able to make a chest plate. This is going to help me out so much because now I can breathe underwater for as long as I want. Very OP, very sick. I took my 2 Neptunium bounties and put them next to the nether portal and went to bed. Day 66, I threw out my new Neptunium fishing pole. I think it has a longer reach than most fishing poles. I didn't really have any new hooks for it, but I did put a worm on it. I wanted to test out the new rod, so I threw it in the AFK Fisher. It was basically just a normal fishing rod, but cooler. Soon after that, I planted some more sugarcane and made a bunch of books with the sugarcane that I had. I was able to make 5 bookshelves, which gave me better enchants, but not very good enchants. I didn't want to focus on the enchanting table for too long because getting leather is a pain. I wanted some glowstone to make my bubble look a little bit more pretty. I spent 2 days mining to get here, and I finally got it. I got back home on day 69 and went to bed. On day 70, I tested out the shaders again because they look so good. Please, please, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. I want to be able to use these. I want that 3080. Aside from that, I took my Neptunium shovel and placed in the glowstone that I'd gotten from the nether. I did a bit more work on the sand part of it, moved my enchanting table back 1 so I could upgrade it, and got Unbreaking 2 on my Neptunium fishing rod. On my Neptunium chestplate, I got Unbreaking 2 Thorns 1, and I've said Neptunium a lot. Day 71, I wanted to go out and voyage, so that's what I did. I got on my big ship, rowed out in a single direction. I chose to the right. After a day of finding nothing, I noticed something in the water, and it ended up being a literal sea serpent. It was on me, and it swam fast. I was like, okay, I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home. I was just rowing, hoping that it wasn't swimming faster than me or catching up to me, and of course it was. It was right on my tail the whole time. I'm like, please, please, please. I eventually got it a little farther away from me, but it was still tailing me. It would not leave me alone. I was rowing back. I got back to the island pretty quickly. It was still day 72. It almost killed me right here, 2 hearts. I was boating back as quick as possible. I did not want to die. I was in the water. I'm like, please, 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 go, 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 go. I was on half a heart, about to lose all my progress, and I made it over here, still running. I didn't know if it would chase me on land, but I got up, half a heart, survived. I was on this tree when, yeah, it jumped and destroyed all of the leaves. So I had to run away again, or else I would have died. I got to this point over here where it wasn't annoying me and had to go back into the water. I had zero idea on how to kill this thing, so I got close to it, seeing if it would jump at me and I could hit it maybe. It wasn't. I kept trying to bait it. I got 1 hit in right there, and yeah, it jumped. I used my shield to block. It jumped again, hit me. Yeah, it was just jumping. I don't know what was happening. I was running away. I did not want to die, but I also wanted to kill this thing. I got a few more hits on it, blocking it with my shield. It was a bit of a process, but 1 hit later, and it wasn't 1 hit, and I killed it. I killed a sea serpent. It dropped scales and a sea serpent fang. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but maybe it was just a cool collectible. It was getting late, so I got back home. I docked my boat, almost died, almost lost all of my progress. It was terrifying. I put my tooth inside my Neptune's bounty, and it looked really cool with there, surrounded by the scales. I went to bed on day 72, woke up on day 73. I still had 3 Neptunium ingots, and I didn't really want a sword. I like axes better, and they always say never waste your diamonds on a hoe, but not your Neptunium ingots, so I made a Neptunium hoe. Yeah, it may be pointless, but it looks cool. I harvested some more sugarcane and replanted some on the other side of the island. While I was on the other side of the island, I noticed there's a shark and a hound over here. It was a wolf and a badger. I wanted to fight that thing, whatever it was. It was a shark, but it was a different kind. It wasn't a great white. It was swimming around all over the place. I hit it, and I was able to 2-tap it. It wasn't that hard. But I wanted to go explore with this animal more. It was a literal badger in Minecraft. I knew I downloaded some mods, but these are really cool. I thought I'd be able to tame this thing with a bone, but I wasn't able to. So I went home on day 73 and went to bed. Day 74, I started off by clearing my garbage inventory in the chest that I throw everything in. I hopped on my boat to continue the voyage until I saw this. I knew it was a whale of some sort, and it kept hitting me back. It was actually way harder to kill than the other shark. But yeah, after I ended up killing it, it dropped blubber. I sailed for 3 days until I came across this. It was like a village with a stone thing on it, and it had crabs. But not just crabs, it had this goat too, and that little bird over there. I looked in, and I was not expecting this. It was a cyclops. This was literally not planned. I'm like, okay, I'll fight it. I hit it once and it threw me off and took half my health. So I'm like, okay, Cyclops, not going to be easy to beat. Was it harder than the sea serpent? I don't know. It was stuck in this like area with some sheep. If it wasn't, I guarantee I would have been dead, but thankfully it was. I was scared that it was going to jump out at any time. I didn't want to get crunched, so I kept going in to hit it and then back to avoid death. It got me one more time. Took half my health again. I ran back, healed up. I'm like, okay, gotta be more cautious when I'm hitting it. And of course, I get crunched again. 3.5 hearts, heal up. I go back, I'm like, okay, gotta kill this thing. It was on top of the fence, so it could jump out, and I was scared of that. So I had to finish it off quickly while I was in there. But of course, I got chomped, and then I got chomped again. 1.5 hearts, saved myself, went back, and healed up. He was not dying. I broke that so he would not jump out, and now I could just go and hit him and then leave, hit him again, and that seemed to do it. I was wondering what he dropped. It looked like an eye, and it was the eye of Cyclops. It inflicts weakness on nearby hostiles, so any like hostile attacks won't affect me. It was crazy. I did not know he would drop that, but it was getting late, and I raided this village, kicked Joe out of his bed, and went to sleep. 3 days voyage back, I now know that there's a village there, and I got a Cyclops eye that is overpowered, so now I don't even know if sea serpents can kill me anymore. I wanted to test that, but I had a bunch of junk in my inventory. I was home for that, I dumped it off, went right back on the boat with my eye in my left hand, and voyaged in a completely opposite direction. After 2 days of voyaging, I thought I saw a temple down there, and then there was this mermaid that was luring me in. I'll let you listen. Luckily, it couldn't kill me because I had my eye in my hand, so none of its attacks were doing any damage, and it didn't even get to touch me. Not to mention that I got shiny scales from it. I was just swimming, and then a purple sea serpent came out of nowhere, and it started attacking me. It couldn't do anything, and I two-tapped it. Easy claps, that purple sea serpent. There was a temple there, and I was very unprepared, so I went back home to fight it another day. Ever since that I discovered that there was a village nearby, I knew that I would have to kidnap them, but my house was too small. So I got some wood, gathered some sugarcane, and went back home. Day 85, I got to work on the second story. I made a staircase up, and another build cinematic. Now it's time to work on the roof. Sadly, I couldn't finish the whole thing because I ran out of glass, so I went over, destroyed the beach a bit more, and AFK fished for a couple more days. All I needed to complete a full set of Neptunium armor was Neptunium legs, so I got 3 Neptunium ingots, and inside this bounty I had a lot of stuff. I got a bow and enough Neptunium ingots to make myself a pair of Neptunium pants. Now I had everything. I had my full set of Neptunium armor. I did need to enchant it, but I was looking sick. I was very proud. And by the time I had finished AFK fishing, all of this glass was done smelting, so I got to finish up the roof on day 90. Now I was on the cow hunt. There are a ton of cows. I got 38 leather, which should be enough to finish up the full bookshelf. And it was. I was able to make a lot of books, 38 to be exact, and I turned those into bookshelves. I had 12. Now I had 17 bookshelves in total, with a full level 30 enchant table in my bubble room. Now all I needed is a grindstone and some levels to get full amazing enchants. I smelted up some cobble to get some stone so I could make my grindstone. Once I had that, I brought it down into my bubble room, ditched it there, and went into the nether to get some levels. I was able to fully hit zombie pigmen because of the eye from the Cyclops. That was a fun thing to do. I noticed that it was breaking, so I took it out of my inventory and continued to mine more quartz for XP. I got back home on day 98 with all of my enchants. You could see them there. And the last thing that I wanted to do before the 100 days was up was go conquer the Guardian Temple and kill some sea dragons while I'm at it. This red one, of course, always the red ones that are after me. It was actually able to do damage while I was holding the eye, but I did kill it a lot quicker because I was holding the eye and it had weakness. Now it was time for me to take out the Elder Guardians and get the loot. I got Miner Fatigue, and right around the corner there is my first Elder Guardian. He was pretty quick. I killed the next one and the next one. Once all of them were dead, I looked up here where the gold was, and I noticed that there was something up here. It looked like an egg of some sort. I picked it up and brought it back. I placed it up here in the mountain and waited a few days, and by the time I had come back, it was here. It was a dragon, a literal dragon egg. I didn't know whether to kill it or not. It was hitting me, but it wasn't doing that much damage. I decided to keep it alive, and that was a big mistake. Thank you all for an amazing year on YouTube. I'm so grateful, and I wish you guys all a happy holiday.